Hello everyone, today we'll look at how to use this fillet tool, fillet and the chamfer tools. Basically what is meant by a fillet. So if you look at our diagrams, if you get a sharp corner like this, normally we don't keep these sharp corners in a design, so we have to make it a round corner. So when you make it a round corner, your stressor is going to be reduced. So what we are going to do is we are going to give more area here. When you give more area, when there's a force applied to this area, this stress levels will be reduced and there won't be any cracks forming here. So if you may have you may have seen in computers, in a lot of electronic gadgets, you can find these round corners. It's just not for only for the beauty, and safety is also one of the reason. If there's a sharp corner, it may hurt somebody. The biggest the most important reason is to reduce the stressors and to prevent cracks forming. So how can we get something like this in AutoCAD? So if you have a sharp corner, so I'll just draw a sharp corner like this, several sharp corners. Now I'm going to apply the fillet tool here. So when you start the fillet tool, you will get a lot of options, and it says select the first object, and it says the select the second object. So when you do this way, nothing happens. So the way I did the way I execute the command is wrong. So you have to first select these options. So the first option I'm going to teach is radius option. So in the fillet, we have to specify the radius. So you have to specify this radius. So in examples, you may see these kind of fillets all over the examples. Now if you look at our tutorials, chapter number 5, you will find lot of fillets in our design. So this is a design which has fillets. This is these sharp corners, you have fillets. Here we don't have, here we have a fillet. So this for if you want to design this kind of example, you can't use the arc tool or the circle tool, because it's difficult. Sometimes you may not know the radius center exactly. This is a simple example, so you can locate the center, but some examples are there you can't locate the center of the arc or the circle. So you have to use the fillet tool here. Here also we have small fillets, here also we have fillets. So these fillets should be done at the end of a design. So after you complete the basic design, you have to apply the fillets. Now we look at how to do it in AutoCAD again. So we have to give a radius. I'll assume a radius say 2, and we have to select the first line and the second line. There should be a fillet forming, but here it says sometimes if the radius is too much or too little, you cannot see the fillet. So I'll redo this. I'll measure this length and check. So I think 2 is too much. So I will give a less value, say radius. I'll say 0.5. This one and this one. What's the problem here? We'll draw a big one. Fillet radius 1. Sorry, my numbers are not working. So now it's working. Now 1. Select this and select this. Now you see the fillet is forming. Earlier my keypad was not working. Sorry for that. So I gave radius number 1. Now if you want to fillet all these sharp corners, this is going to be difficult. So I have to repeat this command again and again. So to avoid that one, there is a tool called multiple method. Multiple method will allow you to do it at once without giving the radius again and again. So this was 1. You have to select these one by one. This one again. So I don't need to repeat input in the radius. So this is the multiple option. And there's another one called polyline option. Polyline option is working if you have done a design using polylines. So if you just do a similar kind of a design using polylines, now this is a polyline. I can apply the fillet radius 1. I'll select the polyline method and just select this polyline. So everywhere you can see every sharp corner is going to be filleted. You can see that. So this is somewhat fast, but you cannot change the radius here. In multiple tool you can change the radius. Now for an example, if you want to have different radiuses, I can use the multiple and do that. Say I go to fillet, say multiple radius, say this is 1, this corner is 1. Still this is working, so I can come here and again give say 2. Now this is 2. Radius again I can give say 3. So this multiple tool is still working, but I have given lot of different values. But in the polyline tool you cannot do that. Polyline acts as a single line, so you cannot give different fillet radiuses. And there was another tool called trim. So what is the meaning of this? Trim means if you just trim means removing the unnecessary part. So when I have a sharp corner, this was the result. But if you want to keep the sharp corner and get the fillet also, you have to say the software that don't trim this sharp corner, don't trim it. So I will do it and show you. So trimming, don't trim, and give a radius say 2, and select this one and this one. So you can see the sharp corner still remain. So that is the meaning of trimming. Then we look at some more useful examples which can be done from the fillet tool. So if I have two parallel lines like this. Now if somebody wants to close this, or if you have something like this, and if you want to have a round corner here, fillet tool can be used. So if I use fillet with the trim tool on, radius say 3, and select this one and this one. So you see software is extending these lines and fillet in this. For an example, if you apply the fillet to the fillet without trimming, no trim, radius say 3. If you select this one and this one, you see this is the result. So trimming will not work, so extend tools will not work. So you get something like this. And if you have parallel lines like this, so I showed this output. If you have parallel line like this, and if you want to have say round corner, you can directly use the fillet tool. Otherwise, if you don't know the technique, sometimes you may use the continue tool. Sorry, continue tool is continue from here. You may use start end angle tool. So I can use start end angle is 180. This can be used. OS I can use the circle tool, say 2-point circle, this one and this one, and trim this area. So there are a lot of ways. So it is going to be time consuming. So I can use the trim tool and do this, but it's a time consuming process. So without doing all these things, without doing any of these things, I can directly use the fillet tool. Here only we don't give radius, so we just select these two lines. Software will automatically calculate the radius and it will show you the round corner. Now I don't give any radius, I can just come to these corners and close this object. This is a very handy tool available in Fillet. And another example is something like this. If you want to get something like a round shape connecting these two circles, the fillet tool can be used. There's no other way. So if you see an example like this, or a tutorial question, or a design like this, probably more 100% of the time they have used the fillet tool. Or else you can use a tan radius tool also, but the fillet tool is faster. So I'll show you what happens. See, if I have two circles and somebody wants to connect these two circles using a arc shape. One of the ways is you can use tan radius, tangent here, tangent somewhere, and the radius value is they are giving say 28, say I will give say 15. So this is the circle fit in this uh, fit in this gap. So you have tan here, radius I gave 15. So then we have to use all these tools and trim the things. So it's going to be somewhat time consuming. So this is again possible, but if you directly use the fillet tool, radius 15, say that this one and say this one, you can directly get it. So I use the fillet tool, or else you use tan radius. So in these kind of examples we will give only the radius value here. You can't use the arc tool because you don't know the starting and ending points. I know only the radius here, so I don't have much information. So please remember this special case where fillet tool is very useful. So that's about the fillet tool. So I will now look at chamfer tool. So you may have seen in designs these kind of cut-off areas. So this is called a chamfer. So when you want to design a chamfer, there are two ways. Either you can give two distances from this vertex and draw a line and erase this area, or else you can give distance and angle. So there are two ways of doing chamfer: distance, angle, or distance. So I will show you with an example how it works. Say I have a shape like this. I'm running the chamfer tool. So these previous methods which we discussed available in the chamfer tool also. Polyline. This is the distance method. This is the angle distance method. Trim is there. Multiple layers there. Method is either you use the distance or angle distance method. So if I use the angle distance, you give the first line here, second line, nothing happens. So you have to be careful. Like the fillet tool, it will not work. So I have to select the method first. Say distance. Specify the first chamfer distance. Say 2. Second chamfer distance 3. So this is the first chamfer distance from this corner 2, from this corner 3. So I get a chamfer like this, a tiny chamfer without trimming. So you can have trim chamfer corners. So I will give a big value this time. Chamfer, I'll say trim, and I'm using distance method again. Say 5, 10. I select this as the 5, this as the 10. So this is my chamfered cone from here to here 5, from here to there 10. So in designs we use chamfers also. For an example, in this design we can use the chamfer tool, or else you use the direct line tool and draw this. Otherwise use the chamfer tool. So I hope you understood the concepts behind chamfer and fillet. So when we do more tutorial questions, you can practice it thoroughly. We'll look at so we are going to discuss these two examples later after we discuss the pattern techniques. So we will upload a video for this, and you at home you try to complete this exercise. So we have now learned all the necessary theory to do this. So we have hidden lines here, we have a fillet here, and you can use the offset tools and get this shape quickly. So try to do this example at home. this was done. So do this at home and see. Now we look at how to work on this example. Now we look at this example. So I'm going to draw this in AutoCAD now. So we will see how it can be done quickly. So this is something like a ball shape. So this is the ball head, this is the shank. So we will quickly draw this in AutoCAD. I'll take a new file. So always try to use the AutoCAD template. So I'm going to use this AutoCAD template. Here we have a center line layer and the normal line. So I'm going to create two layers called center lines and continuous lines. So this is continuous white color. I'll give another layer, create another layer center. It may be in orange green color. So this line I should load center line. Okay, now I can either start from the center line or use another continuous line and start. So we will see how it works. I'll try to start with the center line here. So the center line length is around 3. So I'm going to draw a rough sketch around 3, small size, enter. So this is my center line. So it's not a very appealing center line. The line length is big. So we can run the LT scales and reduce this. We can do it at the end. No need to worry. And here I can use these offset tools and get parallel lines. So you have to get 1 2 3 4 5 6 parallel lines. So I'm going to get this one first. 0.95 divided by 2, 0.475. So I'm going to use offset tool here. 0.475, enter. So this is offset in both sides this way. So I got these two lines. Now from this line, for this side it's 0.25. So look at always how the dimensions are given. So from after you get this line, you can get this line rather than calculating this gap. It's easy. So 0.25 offset, rerun the offset command. 0.25 from this one here. So I got these two lines. Then from the center here I have two offsets, 0.475, 0.475. So I'll rerun the command 0.475. Sorry, I'll rerun the command 0.475. Get the center point, enter. Sorry, 0.475, enter. Select the object and give the side. No, I have drawn it. Sorry, I have drawn this. This is 0.275. So we will undo this. Okay, so this value is 0.275, not 475. So this is 0.275, enter. So this side and this side. So I got all the necessary parallel lines. So I didn't change the layers. I use the same layer and drew. So later we can change the layer. So I can close this now. And 0.6 offset here. 0.6. See this side. Then from this corner it's 2.35. So I'll rerun the offset command. 2.35. So I got this line. Now I can offset this side 0.35. So repeat the offset 0.35, enter. This. So these actually this is unnecessary. So we can later trim that. Now I got all the necessary horizontal and vertical lines. If you want, you can now change the layers. Now these should be changed, these should be changed. So I can come here and quickly change the layers to continuous line. So I think I made a mistake in renaming the layers. So this is continuous, this is center. Now I change the layers. This is unnecessary, so I will trim this. Now when you run the trim command, you just select everything and do, that's easy. So trimming, I can use box selections and trim this way, so no problem with that. Then we need to trim this line, and this line, and we don't have this line and this line. Then this should be removed, delete, and these also should be removed. So I can run the trim command again, trim, this should be removed. So these things manually I can press the delete key and remove it. Now this line, this should be coming out of the bolt a little bit, so I can just drag it manually like this and extend it. Now I got the design quickly. So the design is complete, but the centerline scales are not good, so we will run the LT scale command and give a small value, say 0.25. Now somewhat okay, so I gave 0.25. You can guess and do it. Now we'll try to do this design. Now you don't need to repeat the same thing because it's the same design. So I'll take a copy quickly, so we can get a copy using the base point method and just drag it and get a copy. Then we will run the fillet tool here. Fillet radius as 0.1. So fillet, everything, every corner has the same radius. It's a multiple fillet I have to do, and radius is 0.1. So but remember, when you do this fillet, this area is trimming, but if you try to apply the same thing here, you get this problem here. This line will vanish because I'm running the trim command. So we undo this and say no trim, don't trim this, so you can keep that line preserved, and these areas no trim, but these two corners trim. So you can see I'm doing this in one operation without wasting time. That's it. Now these lines are sorry, I didn't do this. So actually you can do it in one operation. So multiple radius, 0.1, this should be no trim. So you can do it at once. So I missed this and I got the design quickly. Now these are unnecessary lines, so you can just use manual dragging and do it. That's easy here. You can manually shorten these lines. Now this area is a chamfered area, so I have to use angle distance method. So we will use that chamfer angle distance method. Angle means angle distance method. So it's give the length, say 0.35. Angle is 23 degrees, and it should be a multiple thing. We have two corners, so and it should be trim also. So I'll redo this again. So previous fillet command options are still in the memory, so I have to clear them. So I should say trim, and it's a multiple chamfer, and it's angle method. So 0.35, 23 degrees, 0.35, 23 degrees, 0.35, 23 degrees. So this is the way we complete this design very quick. So I use lot of easy methods of completing this one. So when you go home, when you work at home, just try this example, try this one. After we complete the pattern tools, we will upload the solutions for these two examples. So we have almost completed the chapter 5. So there is one more lesson under chapter 5. So we are going to discuss array tools. So we will come up with a new video soon with the array tools. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.